In today's video, XILONEN, greatest myth of ancient names of children of Echo's tribe, great worker and also great sleeper. XILONEN is a 5-star geo character, sword user, absolute incredible support for every character of any element in the game except for Anemo and Dendro. In this video you'll find tips, talent explanations, artifact sets, weapons and more. So keep watching if you want to have the best XILONEN in Genshin. But before getting started, are you bored of farming alone in Genshin or you would like to play Minecraft or Roblox with other people? Well, if that's so, you can join my Discord server to make friends and participate in some of my videos such as judging builds and etc. You're more than welcome to join. And with that being said, this is a character investment and let's jump right into her active talents. With the normal attack, she performs up to 5 rapid strikes, but we'll see them later. With her elemental skill, XILONEN enters in her Nightfall Blessing state using her roller skates and deals Nightfall aligned geo damage based on her defense. XILONEN has 3 samplers with her that contain other party members' elemental types. Once activated, she will decrease nearby opponents the corresponding elemental resistance. You'll always have the geo sampler by default, and for each party member who is Pyro, Hydro, Cryo and Electro, one geo sampler will change to the corresponding element. When XILONEN is in the Nightfall Blessing state, the geo source samples she carries will remain active throughout. When there's Nightfall points in maximum, she will consume all the Nightfall points and activate the 3 source samples she has. You need to deal 3 hits to opponents to activate the samples. When the source samples are active, nearby opponents' corresponding elemental resistance will decrease. Keep in mind that source samples effect of the same elemental type cannot stack, and XILONEN can trigger this effect even when off field. When XILONEN is in the Nightfall Blessing state, she continuously consumes Nightfall points. When these points deplete or if used again, this Nightfall Blessing state will end and will grant different effects. First, XILONEN switches to the Blade Roller mode, which will increase her movement speed and climbing speed. And second, XILONEN's Nightfall Blessing has a few restrictions. When in this state, XILONEN's Nightfall points have a 9 seconds time limit, and after you exceed this limit, her Nightfall points will immediately deplete. After XILONEN's Nightfall points have depleted while she is in the Nightfall Blessing state, she will no longer be able to generate Nightfall points. With her ultimate, she deals Nightfall aligned AoE geo damage based on her defense. Additionally, she will trigger the following effects based on her different source samples. If she has at least 2 source samples that have undergone elemental conversion, XILONEN will heal nearby active characters at intervals based on her defense. If she has less than 2 source samples that have undergone elemental conversion, XILONEN will start up an Ardent Rhythm, which will play 2 additional beats and deal Nightfall aligned AoE geo damage based on her defense, so she won't heal you but will deal more damage. This effect is quite hard to activate since she always has her samples active even though you have a resonance, so the priority is given to elemental skill, then elemental burst and last normal attack. Let's have a look at her passive talents now. With the first one, while in the Nightfall Blessing state, if XILONEN has at least 2 source samples that have had their elemental types charged, she gains 35 Nightfall points when her normal or plunging attacks its opponents, and if XILONEN has less than 2 source samples that have had their elemental types charged, her normal and plunging attacks deal 30% increased damage. So with this passive talent you may have the chance to make her a DPS or sub DPS, which is really good considering what she already does by default. With her second passive talent, while in the Nightfall Blessing state, when XILONEN's Nightfall points reach maximum, she will trigger an effect equal to that of her Nightfall burst. Additionally, when nearby party members triggers a Nightfall burst, XILONEN's defense is increased by 20% for 5 seconds. This is cute since it increases her performances even more, in which her whole kit is based on defense. Third, long story short, this talent helps you with Exploration in Atlan as the fourth, which restores 15 Phlogiston after triggering Nightfall transmission. Let's have a look at the artifacts option we have on her now. For 2-piece she can use 2-piece geo damage bonus Archaic Petra, 2-piece defense Ask of Your Plain Dreams, 2-piece healing bonus Maiden Beloved, Ocean Youth Clam and Song of Days Past. For 4-piece she can use Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, which will grant the character of the elemental she triggers a reaction with an elemental damage bonus of a total of 40%, which is broken considering she reduces opponent's elemental resistance. Archaic Petra, which is the old version of Scroll of the Heroes in their city, but more designed for a geo character, so if you have a 4-piece of it you can use this. Would I still recommend you to farm for Scroll? Yes, of course, since Petra has a great bonus, but if you create different elemental shards, unless you have just 2 elements in the team, you may take the wrong shard buffing elements you don't need to. Ask of Your Plain Dreams, which will buff her personal performances since it gives defense a geo damage bonus. Before to uncover main and sub stats, the rank of her 4-piece sets is Ask on 3rd place, Petra on the 2nd and Scroll on the 1st. Main stats are energy recharge or defense on descent, geo damage bonus or defense on the goblet, and healing bonus or defense on the circlet. Substats are defense percentage, energy recharge, defense, and the rest is free unless you want to give her crits to make her a DPS, or if you have certain weapons which we are going to uncover now. Little recommendation before to jump into it: try to give her weapons with defense as a substat since she takes advantage from it. Pick Patrol Song, which is her best in slot, increases defense and elemental damage by 16 and 20% respectively when a normal or plunging attack hits opponents. Additionally, increases all party members' elemental damage by a total of 25%. If you have Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, this effect is crazy. Uraku Mizugiri, which gives her crit damage, it increases the normal attacks damage and elemental skill damage. If you play her with another Geo character, this effect will be doubled, and she will also gain 20% defense by just equipping this weapon. This makes her a little more as a DPS, of course. Last is Skyward Blade, which gives her energy recharge and allows you to use her ultimate more frequently since she heals with that, so it's really important to have it full charge when you need it, but other than that, this weapon doesn't really increase our performances. And that's all for 5 stars options, so let's have a look at her 4 stars. Flute of its Pizzo, which is craftable, gives her a lot of defense. The effect still increases the defense percentage after using the elemental skill, so this increases her healing and damage. The Black Sword, which gives creep rate and increases normal attack damage by 20%, perfect if you use her as a DPS. Lastly, I just wanted to mark a weapon which is really good for her but was obtained through a past event. Cinnabar Spindle, which gives defense and based on it increases elemental skill damage. You won't take the full bonus, but if you have it to 90 and no one's using it, this is a great alternative. Let's have a look at her constellations now. With the first one, Xilonen's Nightsoul Point and Phlogiston consumption in her Nightsoul Blessing state is decreased by 30%, and her Nightsoul Points time limit is extended by 45%. Additionally, when Xilonen's source samples are active, she can also increase nearby active characters' interruption resistance. This constellation is cute since it helps you with exploration and also for supporting since your active character will have their interruption resistance increased. Second, Xilonen's geosample source will always remain active. Additionally, when her source samples are active, all nearby party members will gain extra effects. For Geo, damage is increased by 40%, Pyro, attack is increased by 40%, Hydro, max HP is increased by 40%, Cryo, crit damage is increased by 15%, and for Electro, restores 20 energy and decreases elemental burst countdown by 5 seconds. This is really broken. I think this constellation really enters the group of the strongest C2 we have in Genshin so far. They are basically resonances effects. Third, increases the level of her elemental skill by 3, which is really good because you would have the percentage of opponents' elemental resistance increased. Fourth, after Xilonen's uses her skill, she will grant all party members the Blooming Blessing effect for 15 seconds. Character with Blooming Blessing deal increased normal, charge, and plunging attack damage based on 65% of Xilonen's defense. This effect is really strong on characters like Riosley, Emiya, Lorena, Yaro, and Nuvilat, who's already broken, imagine with this constellation. Of course, other characters take advantage from these cons, I'm not going to mention all of them. Fifth constellation increases the level of her ultimate by 3, so the incoming healing instances and also the EOE geo damage. Last, when Xilonen is in the Nightsoul Blessing state, when she sprints, leaps, or uses normal or plunging attack, she will ignore the limitation of her Nightsoul Blessing state and increasing the damage dealt by her normal and plunging attack for 5 seconds, so DPS Xilonen. During this time, her Nightsoul Blessing time limit countdown will be paused, Xilonen's Nightsoul points, phlogiston, and stamina will not decrease, and when her Nightsoul points reach maximum, her Nightsoul Blessing stay will not end either. Additionally, Xilonen will deal 300% of her defense as increased normal and plunging attack damage while in the Nightsoul Blessing state. So crazy DPS Xilonen. This is really good for a DPS build, but doesn't increase any team performances. Let's have a look at the team comps for her. If you have Kazuha, you can replace him with Xilonen, but not in every team. Kazuha is still fundamental for teams like Permafreeze or Vape, so keep in mind that even though they have the same role in the team, they still have differences. A team that I honestly can't wait to try is Navia, Xilonen, Bennett, and Furina, in which we have Furina buffing and apply Hydro, Bennett with his healing and buffs in attack, and Xilonen healing, buffing, and helping Navia with shards and energy regeneration. Tell me anything, but I think this team is the GOAT, and I don't even want to imagine what would happen with Mawika fitting in this team. Another option is Itzo, Goro, Xilonen, and Furina, so a hyper carry Itto team, where you have Goro buffing Itto's and XILONEN's performances and Furina buffing everything. This team could be the Geo version of Xiao's hyper carry team. Last team option that I want to mark to you as the twins working together. The team is Neuvillette, Kazuha, XILONEN and Furina. We all know Neuvillette's DPS and mechanics. He has one of the strongest DPS in Genshin, but the thing that makes this team potentially the strongest we have in the game is the fact that we have Furina buffing all performances, which will also deal more damage thanks to Kazuha and XILONEN buffs. The even crazier characteristic of this team is that Kazuha does with his kit what XILONEN does with her artifacts, and XILONEN does with her kit what Kazuha does with artifacts, so we're gonna have the full buffs together since the sources of them are different. This makes Neuvillette and Furina become crazy in terms of damage. Let me know in which teams you want to play XILONEN. And that's all you needed to know about our DJ XILONEN. I hope this video came useful to you. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you think of this incredible character. I remind you to subscribe to the channel and also to my TikTok and Instagram accounts, to join my Discord server, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!